And we're live.
Yes, we're live. Well, this is Dr. Jeffrey Lant. I'm bundled up as best I can. I have a remembrance of a flu. I might have begun of a cold. So, folks, I'm throwing myself on your good nature now. If you don't like what you hear, blame it on the bacillus. I've been president, and I'm not president, I've been CEO, that too, of Worldprofit for 23 years. This is the longest running live program on the internet. We get down to the real business of making money. You know what? I have with me Christopher Minnis from Cornwall. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he's here for. I always find it extraordinary that the people come to Anything Goes. We lay it out what they need to do to make money, and they go back to their little podunk communities and do the exact reverse and never make a dime. So today we're going to talk about those push schleppers. Chris, do you want to how to start off in a few words, perhaps?
Well, these people who come in professing to want to make money, they expect to be scammed, and they can't see past that. And what we don't do here is scam anyone. We tell you exactly what you're going to get and how you're going to get it.
Yeah, but I think they want to be scammed so much. Maybe we should just have an instant new category. I mean, there are people who just like scam me, scam me, scam me. It's kind of like screaming rape in the middle of the news part. Damn. I don't understand what they think they're going to get anywhere else, because as we know, we've been on doing this for over 23 years now at Worldprofit.com, and we lay it right out very explicitly. And yet, this morning I was talking to a couple of people, they just didn't get it. I say, where are your customers going to come from? Customers? What are they? It's like talking to someone from outer space. So,
yes, well, they don't need customers because money falls out of the sky.
Apparently so. I certainly would like to go to that town for reference. I'm going to start off where I like to start off, which is with this book, Cash Copy. And for those of you that are in the studio audience and YouTube, and you are not thinking this program has no bearing on you, listen very carefully. If you now expect to run a home or other kind of business, you are going to need customers, and you are going to need to reach these people with different formulations of words that will enable you to excite them, enthuse them, and help you make it. This book is called Cash Copy, and I want to make it very clear that there are two different kinds of copy. There's cash, which in this book, how to offer your products and services so your prospects buy them now. Cash Copy tells you how to make sales using words, pictures and what have you, but mostly words. That's Cash Copy. Copy is what you do when you sit down and say, dear friend, I want to present to you my patented, yes, and well-known too, shoe stand. And it is made of wood, and it is very practical, and I have 3 left. That's not even a copy, that's just dribble. Unfortunately, for most people, they try to make sales with the worst possible copy. It doesn't work. So today we're going to start with what you need to do, and for those of you who get this, and that better be all of you, you're slitting your own throat. You go to Amazon.com, you can get a copy, it's called Cash Copy, you can give it my name, which is Lant, and you can get started using this immediately. And remember, this book has sold over $1 million worth of copies. That'll show you what's going on. Smart people love this book because it is in a condensed way, a concentrated way, exactly what you've got to know. Chris had read 2 pages when we last met him. Now, have you read any further, Chris? Maybe 3 or 4 pages?
No, I haven't.
Oh, he wants to savor it. But equally, I must say you're not writing any copy right now.
No, that's a fact. I don't need to write copy because you do it all for me.
So let's look at the options. Option 1 is you can write your own. And that's not an option for most people because you don't know how to write cash copy. And again, let me be clear. Not just copy. Any nitwit can write copy. Cash copy is the language using the words in the right order arrangement to ensure maximum response. You could hire a copywriter. That'll cost you such like $10,000 in my case, $5,000 before. the job and 10,000 on 5,000 on completion, you could come to Worldprofit, and you could get your copy from us, and that would save you thousands of dollars. And it puts you in the game. If you cannot use words to make sales, you're out of the game before you even start. Do you want to speak to that issue?
Yes, as you say, you have to have copy, legible copy, understandable copy, and it has to be targeted at what you're doing. Words are no good.
It's got to have that snap, crackle, and pop. You can't sell a thing if it ain't got that swing. Most people who try to write copy end up with a garbage can full of rejections. People are very intolerant about wasting their time. If you are even perceived to be an amateur time waster, you're out. They'll trash your thing about helping you. And think of how many things using cash copy we throw in trash in the last day. I went through this. I've thrown 5 catalogs in the trash, each of which was of a reasonable size. These are 4-color catalogs. They would have taken easily 2 or 3 copywriters to write them. So I've thrown away that. I got an important notice from my electric company, which I threw away, because if that was so important, they could have put a little teaser button on the front. And then my regular sort of garbage. Bills, which you can use for cash copy as well. Many people, but not enough, use their envelopes as a way of getting a message across. And also the seal at the back. Also the line across the bottom of the back. Also at the top of the page on the left-hand side. You get the picture? Your average envelope can sustain 6 or 7 or even 8 different cash copy messages, all on the outside. I've been running my envelopes with a little message and my phone number now for over 25 years. Haven't changed my envelope type in 25 years, same phone number, perfectly way to get goodies. Let's talk about another way of getting a cash copy, and that's what I call the resource box, which follows an article. At the end of the article, there's a little box that says, Dr. Lant is a copywriter who will be happy to give you a little free review worth $100 if you call him right this minute. The whole goal of copy is to get the people to respond. You guys are so lazy, you say, well, I'll just sit here and they can admire my body. Yeah, right. That's going to happen for about 1 second. You've got to be prepared to make them move. Movement is the essence of cash copy. It's the whole reason it exists. To get the people to move so that you can talk to them, so that you can make a sale. How many of you do this? How many people in this room are actually cash copywriters? Or how many of you are just saying, well, I don't know how to do it. I won't do it, and I'm not going to hire anyone to do it, and I don't care whether you have it or not. I'm not going to use it. Anybody in this room, or do we have a single person who understands the importance of cash copy? Well, I'm very tempted to open the drawer, drive the moat, and have the crocodiles eat them. Chris, what is the importance of copy or cash copy?
Well, as Patrice says, is to drive traffic. And not only to drive traffic, but to convert that traffic into cash.
Let me tell you about one of the most important cash copy messages I wrote. It was about 23 or so, 24 years ago. And it was received by a fellow named George Kosh, who is not notoriously, well, he doesn't like the phone a whole bunch. But on the messages to the virus, it says, pick up the phone and call me now. And he did, picked up the phone, and we began a commercial relationship that's almost 25 years old now. And it has been worth millions of dollars to both of us. All because I said, call, he said, hey, Ram, how are you today? And it went on from that. I truly believe that A, most of you would never have used the phone number in the first place. B, would never have called back. I was notorious. If I was busy or something, I'd say, don't call me back in 7.3 seconds. I always had a half at the end of the thing to make it more specific. Yep, call me back in 2.37 minutes. I'll be right with you. Click. And I never give them a chance to respond. I'm fairly certain that George got through on the second or third call, because he had the magic bullet, which was, I have a means to promote your articles. And remember, the articles were the key to the growth of my companies. And how it worked was like this. I ran a blurb about 75 to 100 words, and it would end with the phone number. It would say, call me to get whatever I was pushing at that moment. A free consultation, arrange a booking for your nonprofit organization, whatever it was. There was always a money tag at the end of these programs. And they were carried by 150 bulletin boards and publications, mostly newspapers, but a lot of magazines as well. I wasn't paid a penny by any of those people, but I made a fortune by the people who followed the resource box. Want to speak to that? It was an extremely clever system. And like I said, well, other people might have said, how do I make any money? Hello, is Dr. Lant. Hello, my name is George Kosh, and I'm calling you from where the hell are you located? The North Pole? Okay, if you say so. And it went from there. It used to drive the traffic because people got what they wanted. They wanted some free information on XYZ. I wanted to get in at the publication that would tap into those people and make the money. Patrice, I'm going to ask you a question because everyone else is dead over there. See, Ida's dead. Patrice is dead. Have you ever used that mechanism? Have you ever written, for example, and gotten that article published in some place that's going to be able to generate leads? And by the way, I used to send them out on disc mailers. There were like 10 to 15, no, it had to be more than that. There were 12 to 15 articles per month were put on those disc mailers. And I just sent them out. We had a real elaborate procedure once a month. I tried to rip the office apart and turn it into they had all the video, whatever they were, tapes had to be recorded onto, what would we use? Not DVDs, not
Cassettes.
Cassettes. Excuse me, I was there, yeah, I was. Onto cassettes, then they were put into a disc mailer, and there was never any paper. They went directly to the person who was the publisher, and then brought them out whenever you wanted. So they were. I likened to call them like popcorn, because out of 12 articles, you'd get one over here being published, and one out here of this one, and 6 of this, and 8 of that. It was an amazing, amazing system. If you wanted to feel the power of free media, that was it. And the people were delighted to have it because they didn't have any copy or their bulletin boards. We're talking today to Christopher Dennison over there in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, as you said about the phone call, George saying on the training last week that he bought a copy of one of your books, and he called the number, and the first words you said to him, have you read my book? George said no.
Well,
George said no, and you said, well, call me back when you've read it, and put the phone down.
I'm a very directive phone answerer person. I get you my messages, usually call me back later. And it was a supreme arrogance. If I didn't like the person's voice, for example, I'd say, you're not going to provide a good enough home for my baby. And I would hang up and say, and then they call, what? You heard me. So get off my line. People say, well, you're throwing away money. Yep, probably quite a lot of it towards the end. But I didn't want to. I didn't like. I hated working for people in real life, like work. And then if you were writing a book, then you had to get in a jiffy bag or whatever, get it out to whoever. That's too much work. Too much work for you, and I don't even like you. So I'm still waiting to hear from Jeremiah, Joseph, people who need this need to understand that every asset in play.
Yeah,
every asset in play. And I feel so sorry for these people who sit there and don't try to promote themselves, and then they say, no one answered me. George told me the other day that he went over to Google or whatever, whoever these places are. I use these search engines constantly to look for information in my articles and books. He said, you would be amazed at how many millions of references are there out for you. I said, well, in a way, I'm not amazed because I started promoting the minute the internet existed. I was probably one of the first 1,000 people on the net just putting up articles and things at that point. And then over the course of compounding that over 40 or so years, of course you're going to be well known. Somebody said to me, I went to a category that I was interested in, he said, you're up there, you're the first 6 references. Then I'm surprised about the first 666 references. It's all about making a decision. Who do you want to be when you go out? Do you want to be a promoter who makes money? Or do you want to be a person who struggles? Struggle is for the birds. I don't approve of struggle. It has a slightly lower class aspect to it. So care to comment on that, a blatantly capitalistic, aristocratic statement?
Yes, I've just put your name into Google and instantly I've got 216,000 results. So something's working somewhere. Yeah, let's see, 95,000, I hate you, go to the devil, and then the rest of them. Are you the guy that wrote the book on Mormonism? Or how about the one on Catholicism in the state of North Dakota? I mean, people, some of those things are so daft you can't even believe the people who write them down. My father said to me, how do you stand the criticism? I said, are you making money from it, or am I not making money from it? And someone criticizing me pulling out $35 cash, which is okay, or they attack me for no reason, which is not okay. Those people who don't buy things deserve to be punished, and I do my resolute best to make sure that they are. Those that buy things, well, I don't care what they say. Let them say whatever they want. Have you ever known of an author whose work, once read by a reader, is rendered properly by that reader? Forget it. If there's a chance at about 1 billion. I would often say in the class that I try to say, what did I just say? And give them some paragraph or whatever. And they tell you something that has absolutely nothing to do with what you just said. Absolutely nothing. And you notice that in here, I say to people, here's a question. Then they come back with another question. Now I want you to answer my question. They come back with another question. There's something about the human being that says it wants guidance and kicks it in the sand in its face every time that it can. So I want to speak to that grave and serious point of our time. Well, I've been to a few book signings, but I've never heard an author reading from that book.
Oh, no, that's not so uncommon. Let's see. I can think of some. I grew up on the great poets. The Downers Grove Public Library spent must have been a fair amount of money for the time on readings by significant poets like Robert Frost and Dylan Thomas and Carl Sandburg, Anne Morrow Lindbergh, these kinds of people who read very well. And I was camped out in the basement where it was cool because it was the only place in town with a refrigeration system except for the bank that had air conditioning and the library. How the library got its yard, I know how the bank did. It just said that they get it, they got it. Let me get rid of this. A fan, no doubt. Call you back. No, call me back in an hour, please. So there they are. There are those books, and I was the only one. I never saw another person there in all my years. No one, boys in Illinois did not think it was a good thing to be hiding out in the air conditioning with the poets. That was not deemed the most masculine pursuit of the calendar. I wonder how they came up with that. But I knew that I wanted to be like that because I knew those people had terrible value, or terrible great value, and I would learn the inflections of the language, how they spoke, like Robert Frost. Come down to the end of the pond, will you? Come down to the end of the pond and see. See the little calf licked by its mother. I'm going now. You come too. And you could just picture, first of all, these people had a great sense of their style. They were brilliantly positioned. They won all the literary prizes in the country because that's all the poems we had. It was in about 6 records worth of poems. That was it for poems of America. And you just sense the power and the theatricality of it. Dear Jack Kennedy, I've known you since you were a boy, and I have this to say. You are both Irish and Harvard, and if you want to be president of the United States, you'll be more Harvard than Irish. And I could just feel the wavelength of the power. The people were so conversant with whatever was going on. Like Chris could look like one. Although I can't see Chris picking up and living in Downersburg, Illinois. Although they would make much of you there. They've never seen anyone like you in their whole lives. They'd probably keep you released for a month. You might get a free room and board for a month on it. That wouldn't be a bad deal. Kids go on picnics in the church and whatever. I used the battle of the poems in an epic struggle with my mother, who, in the subterranean ways of Illinois in the 1950s, boys were supposed to be a certain way, husbands were supposed to be a certain way, wives were supposed to be a certain way, and never the twain shall meet. There was a Greek chorus of Yiddish mamas who were watching you at all times, commenting, as both members of the chorus did, and telling and whispering secrets to my mother. My name is Jeffrey Lant, and they called me Lad when I was growing up. And they said, Lad's turning out badly, he's going to be an intellectual. You've got to stop this. Now here's my mother breaking all the rules because she has a copy of The Feminist Mystique, which she's hidden in the laundry basket. It's the most revolutionary book. She said, every time I picked it up, they broke my body quiver because my friends thought they think I was a communist. Any is or ism was obviously all related to communism. So she every day goes down to the laundry. What a diligent wife, to clean laundry. Her head was in the laundry basket reading Betty Friedan. And I was in my bedroom one day reading King Arthur, and she came in and she physically wrenched the book out of my hand. And she flung it like this. She said, "Get out, go catch a ball, kick a ball, play with the ball, do anything you want with the ball, but do it now." And I looked at her kind of like groggy, as one would coming out of a deep study of an escape mechanism, by the way, from the prairie. King Arthur was a great vehicle to escape from prairie villages, if you knew they existed. And one of my mother's favorite poems was a poem called Chicago, which was about the raw power of Chicago and Chicago's belief that it was superior to any other city in the world. And it tells you why. But also about showing that you were a member of a kind of an intellectual Midwestern elite. And in New York, those A-10 intellectuals, and Harvard, those liberals from so and so. So she quoted to me about Chicago, meaning that she said, "You are not the strong, pulsating," and I said, "I am Chicago too!" And I screamed back her poem to her with a few emendations, and it was, if that wasn't some sort of psychiatric Freudian moment, I don't know what was. It was absolutely cathartic for both of us. She never accused me again of being intellectual. That died in a stockyard. And those bloody stockyards of the great railway has the weak stackers. Quite a long poem, and a very memorable one. That was about presentation too. Can you imagine? Did your mother ever come home if I do reading the Arthurian romances and go, "Oh, Chris is lost forever"? In Illinois, they believe you couldn't be a football hero and read and present yourself. It was impossible.
I was always reading when I was younger, because we had no such thing as television then. So,
but you're not telling me, what kind of book did you read?
I read anything with words in it. I used to like C.S. Forrester, or Horatio Hornblower, and
yes,
Dickens I liked.
Oh, my mother would have enjoyed you, no question about it. First of all, let's bring some of these people in. We wanted to make sure that Sylvan, are you there? I'm not saying right. Istvan, are you there? Anyway, the love of words can translate itself very easily into a lot of money through copywriting. Every copywriter is a wordsmith. And what we do is we tinker with words to to maximize outcome. And good copywriters are paid a fortune per piece. And you see, people believe now that on the internet, we're being told, well, you can't sell things on the internet. You can't, because the language is so poor. That's one of the major reasons why you can't sell things directly. It's because the people can't figure out what the hell you're saying or what the hell you're selling. If they could, maybe more sales would be made via email. I, for one, remain very optimistic about selling direct on the email, because my copy is extremely precise. Just a thought. Stacker of wheat. I was explaining this to people the other day, how there's a distinct anti-intellectual component that runs right through the middle of the country. It's been there since the inception. And people in those categories have a more difficult role to play to make sales, because the people around them are suspicious of words. In the East, it's a different matter. I was telling this person that, it's the boast of America. We have never lost a war. And then Johnson used to say, well, that was crap from the beginning, because first of all, we lost the Civil War, we being Southern states. A good chunk of the nation lost out. And then we lost out in World War I when the large chunk of the states running from the Canadian border right down in the Louisiana Purchase were pro-German. And their job was to keep America out of war. And the Germans made that impossible by launching unrestricted submarine torpedoing. But I grew up in an area of the country that was deeply German. We had maximums of Germans, Scandinavians, people from Eastern Europe. And they were part of the losing struggle. So we have two huge sections of our nation which have lost wars. And of course, everybody else forgets that. Well, we would never have lost a war. Well, not true. Depends where you lived at the time. We are hopeful that 68 people will join us and learn how to make money and stop fiddling around. Oh, it's so frustrating to watch people as they destroy their resources. And I told you the other day, my thought is that over $1 trillion of ads and of every kind, newspaper ads, reports, telephone directories, all this, $1 trillion a year is spent and tossed in the trash. You ever come in that?
I have to go down for 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
And it's Chris Nimitz, and he'll be right back with us. Does anyone have anything to add? You guys are being incredibly quiet today. Does anyone share my belief that you have to master cash copy before you can master anything else on the internet? Oh, Ms. Cosby, Would you like to come up for half an hour now? I think Chris could be persuaded. I need someone who's going to talk nonstop, and that's definitely you.
Or Lisa.
I mean that to be insulting. You might be right. No way. This isn't a wish. This is a command, wench. Chris can come up at the end of our program for more.
Okay, well, I'll go down for a few minutes.
The matter is, I'd like to go to sleep on this keyboard. All right, Cosby, come up.
Talk non-stop? Are you kidding me? I don't talk non-stop.
Okay, you talk rapidamente, which is the equivalent of non-stop.
But you do like that.
Let's put it this way. You talk so fast, I don't even know whether you are talking. You're like the roadrunner of commercials. Has anyone actually seen the Roadrunner or Beep Beep? I mean, let's get something serious here.
Oh, I don't think I've actually seen that Roadrunner. Meet.
Well, there you go. Okay. Christopher has. So, first of all, you have to help me here. We've got a bunch of people here who are great or bad. I'm up as a courtesy to myself because I got up this morning at 2 o'clock. I was very angry that I came in here and there was nobody up on the screen, and I threw a bloody tantrum. You probably received this tantrum.
I got that tantrum.
Classic. And it should be used at all times by all persons.
I got your tantrum, but thank you.
First of all, Wednesdays are my worst day because the Brazilianas come and destroy my life. There's no equanimity. There's no peace of mind after they've been here. Or while they're here, you go like, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Flip the 16. Only the third. Don't touch that. And I'm saying things that they absolutely have not a clue what I'm saying. If I say, oh my God, that's Second Empire, they go, sí, señor, sí. Sí, muy bueno, señor. Between my virtually non-existent Portuguese and their completely non-existent English, we have such a wonderful relationship.
It makes it much easier to get along that way, doesn't it?
See? She's yapping. You miss. Are you kidding? The mere fact that we haven't murdered each other is by accident. It's so easily might happen any time.
See?
So,
do you see what Michael Harris just said? He said that you are the one doing all the talking.
Of course not. I'm going to go to sleep. If I don't talk, I'm going to go like this.
Listen.
You know what it's like for an old person to fall asleep in cold weather? They wake up about 3,000 years later.
Isn't that called mummified?
Mummy, you got that is right. It's mummy fried. It's more like it. After Lisa has a little bit of a nip in the evening, it's mummy fried. And now she said, I don't drink. Go on and say it.
I don't drink. I have my coffee, Dr. Lant.
Yeah, you have your coffee. And 90% brandy, 10% bad coffee. I don't drink.
No.
I just smile like this.
No, I don't.
Whatever chance I get. I know, I forgot to tell him. Here's the disclaimer, is that she is the good little girl. But every Southern girl says that. Hardly original.
Well, we're supposed to be ladies.
Southern girl only thing? Oh, forget that. Have you ever been to a all Southern women thing where they beat up on each other?
No, I haven't.
I told you when I met you that I had been in Myrtle Beach at this conference, and 99% women and me. And
yes.
It was late because my plane was grounded. And I never heard such thing. Oh my God! If I hadn't heard it with my own ear, I would thought, my God! If I were Southern man, I'd move. I'd get out of there prontito. I never heard such terrible things in my life.
Well, now, You know what?
I was there, darling. You're not going to get me to change my. You can swear with you on a court of Bibles, but it's the fact of the matter is, these were young women who I would say they range in age from 30 to 65-ish, and they were all very articulate. Very. Words were not their problems. They knew how to sling the hash. And they gave me a glass of bourbon. It was a good bourbon, too. It was Kentucky. Oh, never mind that. I could use some of that today. And put me in the corner and said, "Watch and learn, good boy." And I was the guest, you see, so they had to be nice to me. I was the only man in that state that day that didn't get simmered.
You got to hear all of it.
Believe me, I did hear all of it. And even to this day, when I think about
I know your secrets.
That's the point. They weren't secrets. The next day, in whatever town came from in the South, there would have been hefty rumors about this, one and only. Those men must have slept with ears throbbing.
It's like that on Andy Griffith's show. You remember Sarah, when they would ring her up on the phone and connect me with so-and-so and so-and-so? And she knew everything because she was the operator?
Well, of course she did. We used to have a party line. I can't imagine, though, women from Illinois doing that. Maybe they do it at the mess hall. I don't know. Anyway, for those of you who want to have a private, decent life, don't go south of the Mason-Dixon line. Just stay out. Stay away. Or get them to sign an affidavit.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Now, are not our Southerners?
Yes.
Now, listen.
Yes.
Mr. I landed in
the
Charleston.
The answer is yes.
Exactly.
I didn't say Charleston. I said we landed in probably South Carolina, because the states weren't properly divided at that time.
So it was probably, that was like the Mayflower probably landed there up in Virginia.
In your geography, that's true. There's the actual geography, and then there's the cosmic geography, which is causing fits of laughter around us for 50 years.
At idon'tknow.com.
Listen,
that's available for me.
You're telling me, idiot. You're telling me. I know it. idon'tknow.com is going to be a great hit one of these days.
Yes.
Good
afternoon, Evelyn Booth.
Okay, listen to this. Evelyn Booth, we spent a long morning trying to convince Evelyn that was in her interest. She admitted that it was, and then she disappeared. Evelyn, I told you, have you brought your $100? Yes or no? And if you don't respond to us, I'm going to do what I said I would do. I'm going to liquefy you, the Cuisinart. This is the one call for Evelyn Booth. Evelyn Booth, this is the last call for you. Evelyn, are you going to respond and join us, or are you going to keep thinking you're going to play the game? We're not going to have you play any more games. Oh, these people who have so much time that they can play games, it really makes me sick. We would
Welcome
like
back,
to
Evangeline Pastor.
Evangeline Pastor is again another nuisance. Evan and I know each other very well, don't we, Evangeline? And you never join us.
Hey, Evelyn.
See, these people understand that they need what we have to say. There isn't a person who doesn't not understand that. They just think that if they come long enough and they act pathetic enough, we'll give it to them. And here's my response to you. It's dead. It is over my dead body. Hey, Evangeline, why are you back? It's so tiresome dealing with you, Evangeline. Why are you back? And I want you to, Miss Cosby, I want you to kick whatever her name is, Evelyn, off the page.
April 2nd. Evelyn says April 2nd.
And you know what I say? Not good enough, and you were told that 3 hours to 4 hours ago. I'm giving you a parcel of goodies, and you keep asking for more and more. I'm not giving you any more.
I viewed my promotion.
Evangeline, I don't have any clue what you might mean. What does it mean? What does that mean?
Was that your offer that you are looking at, Evangeline?
See, ladies, here's the deal. You're not working with us. You're just exchanging occasional phrases which mean nothing. Okay, I'm going to ask one question and one question only. If you don't give me an answer, you go bye-bye. The question is, Evelyn and Evelyn, are you going to join us now?
Evelyn just loves to hear you talk.
Well, that makes two of us, darling. Unfortunately, I don't regard that as an essential attribute of our relationship. Evangeline and Evelyn, are you going to join now? Any response beside yes will be construed as a negative. You will be removed from the screen. Are you going to join us? And you have 60 seconds to give us an answer. If you're going to join us, click on the red box that says Order Now, Option 1, the monthly option. Monthly option is made once, and once only will not be repeated. Now, Miss Lisa, we're going to be strict with these people because they have the ability to just run around like a dead chicken.
Another Lisa?
No, we have 15 seconds left for Evangeline and for Evelyn. 15 seconds. Please, I'd like you to get rid of them for me. Take them both off the screen.
Yes, sir.
Evangeline, you have lost the offer.
What does that mean, another Lisa? I am Lisa.
You may have a sense of humor, but you have no sense of spelling. Now, I want you to watch these people keep coming back. There's no sense that they're not permitted to make policy.
Right.
Mr. Cobalt,
now,
spell check prior to submission. Now,
well, it could be. It could be spelled. If you are going to promote on the net, this is a no-brainer. Absolutely.
Don't encourage Billy. He doesn't want to be a moderator because he can't spell. He can't spell either.
Well,
you should see these words.
Is it spelled H-U-M-O-R or H-U-M-O-U-R?
Option 1.
Well, if you are.
Sense is also spelled wrong.
See, Christopher says humor with the O-U-R.
That's because he's British and the Canadians spell their language that way too. We do not spell it that way. We do not use the U, they do. You never heard that before.
Real
That's
English.
Because you are too overly talking rather than learning. Now, having said that, carry on with your monologue.
My monologue? I don't have one. You were talking to Christopher.
Christopher is a monologue. You just turn it on and on. It's like a kitchen faucet.
Oh, dear. Oh, okay. What do you want me to monologue about since I talked your head off? How are you feeling, Dr. Lant?
You know what? I'll answer that question the following way. I died 3 hours ago, but the body carries on.
Oh, no. Yes,
like
it's,
I'm like Elsie.
I see.
You know how he ended, don't you? He died, And then his followers took his body and strapped it to his horse and sent it into the ranks of the enemies and killed them off, even though he was dead.
Oh, right.
I'm just waiting for my horse now.
That's kind of like that Trojan horse that they sent into the camp.
There's nothing remotely like that.
Yes, I did.
Except one was a representation of the horse. Everyone wants to know, oh my God, Ditsy.
No. Evelyn is back just to hear your story.
Okay, I wanted to get rid of Evangeline. Would you mind just getting rid of Evangeline? Because, first of all, my name isn't Jeff, and next, I know I am not sitting here to tell stories and to tell you to help people make money.
Well, where it's concerned with you and I.
Evangeline Pastor lives somewhere like Bermuda or Bahamas or something like that. He never has any money. It's been going on for years.
Well, Evelyn Booth is on the order form.
I should believe it when I see it in my hot little hand.
So, good afternoon.
We only have a few minutes. I was going to say you could read one of the articles that is appropriate for this day.
What is this day? The day after St. Patrick's Day?
Well, I did have a St. Patrick's Day story.
Of course you did. I missed it.
Well, you can go play it. It's not against the law.
Here? Listen.
No, in Providence.
No. I was looking. Okay, Jeffrey Lant.
Go to jeffreylantarticles.com. You can type in the word spring.
Did you not want to complete your conversation that you were having with Jeffrey?
Is this a plaintive, painted out reading masterpiece? Is that what this is?
No, not at all. On the vernal equinox and the advent of rain?
Possible. Keep reading.
There's another one. Thoughts on the plucky crocus, determined, colorful, the harbinger of spring. We need to know you better.
That crocus is buried under 9 feet of snow this year.
Here's one. This is it. This is the one you're looking for. She made America and the whole wide world smile when we needed it most. An appreciation for the life of Shirley Temple Black.
You're so Shirley Temple-ish that you really must read the article. This is like typecasting. And now we have our own little good ship lollipop out to the sacred goodness. Go on, read it.
I walked away the other day from here singing on the good ship lollipop.
Well, then it's a sign
like
from God. Yes, you do. And you didn't even know what the good ship lollipop was. Well, you'd be a hell if you were stoking the trays with peanuts. You'd be a hell of a hostess. You'd all go to the wrong place. All right.
You know, which do you want? On the vernal equinox and the advent of spring?
Oh, I want you to read Shirley Temple.
But that's a cute little picture of her.
Well, there you go. It's getting cuter and cuter.
I didn't say pretty, though, did I?
Sign your marshmallow. Go on. We're all waiting for this Lollapalooza.
Oh, doctor.
And be sure to read the title.
Yes, sir. I will make sure I read the title. I didn't. You have guests in here.
Ghosts, more like it. Yes, ghosts. Well, read on, Macduff.
Okay. Yes, sir. I have to get it in the WordPad so I can watch both things. I know, just
I'm
trying.
Lisa, and
Okay,
I'm in the word patch. Talking to you.
That's the Cabbage Patch. Okay. Prepare yourself. She made America and the whole world smile when we needed it most. An appreciation for the life of Shirley Temple Black, dead at 85, February 10th, 2014. Author's program note. If I'd been smart, I would have met Shirley Temple Black in Prague, August 20th, 1968. I was finishing up several exhilarating days in the ancient capital, the Kingdom of Bohemia, during the waning hours of what was called Prague Spring. These were the Prague Spring. These were the glorious days when Alexander Dubček, I would have never guessed that, local henchman of the USSR, played Tennessee Williams' Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. On the most memorable day of all, just before his death, Dubček went on to the great balcony of Hradný, thank you, castle, and made the graceful, long-suffering people believe that liberty was at hand. And they screamed their support, their belief, their hope that deliverance was nigh. I shouted too, tears in my eyes, as they are now, that better days were coming, and soon. But the subjugated nations of the Soviet-dominated Warsaw Pact had other ideas, which among so many consequences would have given me a place in ambassador-designated Shirley Temple Black's motorcade out of Prague to safety. Prague. Take me spell right. Thus was the great square before the castle just a day ago alive with flowers, sprayed with bullets. Where I had cheered, there were now bodies. Where I had exulted with fervent patriots, liberty their passion, there was puddled blood and the acrid smell of death. By that point, if I had had a lick of sense, I should have been en route home, or at least, the very least, to Vienna, compliments of the U.S. Embassy. But I was instead alone on the last train out of... I want to call it Prague. Tell me.
No. I just told you.
Please. Prague. Prague. Okay, Prague. I'm going to remember this. Prague. Okay. Trapped at the Austrian border. What information? There was lurid, frightening, a whiff away from panic. Thus, I never met Shirley Temple or personally witnessed the radiant smile that helped us survive the most difficult of times, uplifting then, eternal now. How had this most girl next door managed to charm and inspire us so through our everlasting gratitude and awe? Golden girl in the golden state, in the golden age of the movies. One thing distinguished Shirley Temple from the moment of her birth in Santa Monica, California, April 23rd, 1928. And that is the fact that everything connected with this entirely normal event was entirely normal, and so things remained. Even at the dizzying height of her celebrity, she was the daughter of Gertrude Amelia Temple, Nee Krieger, a housemaker, and George Francis Temple, a modest bank employee. The family was English, German, and Dutch ancestry. She had two brothers, George Francis Jr. and John Stanley. Like so many starstruck mothers, Shirley's encouraged her infant daughter's singing, dancing, and acting talents, and in September 1931, enrolled her in Miss Meglin's dance school in Los Angeles for 50 cents a week. About this time, her mother began styling Shirley's hair like that of a silent film star, Mary Pickford. Ultimately, this do evolved into the celebrated 56 curls that were quintessence of cute, and which in turn evolved into a multi-million-dollar empire on which the smiles never set. In 1952, this sunny, blissful child, bathed and loved, as she said, was discovered by a movie agent and chosen to appear in Baby Burlesque, a series of sexually suggestive shorts in which children played all the roles, parodying film stars. The 4- and 5-year-olds wore fancy adult costumes which ended at the waist. Below the waist, they wore diapers with oversized safety pins. It was smut in top hat and satin garter, coming perilously close to ending the career of America's little princess before it even got started. Shirley Temple plays Mae West. Indeed. Years later, in her autobiography, Child Star, Temple reported that when any of the 24 or so children cast in Baby Burlesques misbehaved, they were locked in a windowless sound box with only a block of ice on which to sit. Her laconic conclusion: so far as I can tell, the book to my physique. Nice. More revealing was her final comment on this unsettling matter. Its lesson of life was profound and unforgettable. Time is money. Wasted time means wasted money, means trouble. This was exactly what the studios wanted their stars to believe, say, and do. Shirley Temple, preschooler, was their kind of gal, and they were right. Shirley never let them down. 1934, Hollywood stands up and cheers. It is easy to forget just how grim and frightening 1934 really was. So much had been toppled and devastated by the Great Depression. The old verities, now 12 for a penny, were challenged everywhere, scoffed at, derided, no longer venerated, no longer the white hope of an expectant world. There was a lot more to fear than fear itself, as every ism, Nazism, fascism, communism, et al., made it strenuous, plausible play for world domination. What did the Great Republic offer in response? People in the Depression wanted something to cheer them up, and they fell in love with a dog, Rin Tin Tin, and a little girl, Miss Temple Black, often said in her unadorned way, as if these words were sufficient to explain her astonishing success. But more explanation is necessary. Not since Joan of Arc, 1412 to 1431, had a great nation staked its future on a girl, much less one barely out of rompers like Shirley Temple. Saint Joan, Purcell de France, went forward with a sacred oriflamme in her hand and the certainty of God's favor. By contrast, Shirley conquered the world with the famous ringlets and smile and the warmest possible embrace for everyone. And this begins to explain what happened to her, to the nation, and to the world that loved her at once, whatever their race, creed, sex, age, national origin, or anything else. Nothing like it had ever happened before, and it made people everywhere feel good, made them feel happy now and optimistic about what was to come. No matter how gloomy the current situation, she brought hope, and hope was what we all needed, and urgently. 1 year, 8 films, just 6 years old. For all that they prattle on about creativity and art, the titans of Hollywood would give their eye teeth for a film model guaranteed to coin money over and over again. In 1934, Temple became the most important star by providing it. The model, first seen in Stand Up and Cheer, had predictable, interchangeable parts that produced predictable riches. A feisty young girl caught in a jam, no parents apparent, adventures galore, all ending in hugs and kisses on the deck of the good ship Lollipop, where the minions under 20th Century Fox head Daryl F. Zanuck shouted, I don't know how to say that, Mazel Tov?
Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov, and tap danced around the lovable moppet who had given them all a happy landing on a chocolate bar. Once proven, the Hollywood magic machine worked overtime to provide suitable properties for their ultra-bankable asset. 19 writers known as the Shirley Temple Story Development Team created 11 original stories and some adaptations of the classics for her. They made hay with a will while the sun shined. It was good for everyone. Okay. Not least the Titans themselves, whose studios just managed to avoid bankruptcy by standing on her girlish shoulders. One smash hit after another, each one a more perfect rendering of the golden model than the one before. Everyone, but everyone, went to the movies to see her in action. Here's what President Franklin D. Roosevelt had to say about his main competitor for America's attention, the child who was far more photographed than he was. It is a splendid thing that for just 15 cents an American can go to a movie and look at the smiling face of a baby and forget his troubles. Rarely has envy produced a more graceful compliment. It was completely deserved. Needless to say, every element of Shirley Temple film was analyzed and analyzed again. What should she wear? What should she say? What should she say? To whom should she say it? How should she talk, sing, tap dance? Each calculated decision contributed to her image of naturalness, naivety and tomboyishness. Naivete and tomboyishness. The most controversial of these decisions involved the simple matter of Shirley holding hands with Bill Bojangles Robinson, a hell of a hoofer who happened to be black. After prolonged discussion, loving everyone triumphed over loving some, their effervescent steps in the 4 films they made together dazzled audiences everywhere and helped move segregated America in the right direction. All good things. Sadly, this marvelous situation couldn't last. Was in fact being undermined by Shirley herself every single day. Winsome child stars, you see, make the fatal mistake to grow up. And they are never as cute and cuddly when they are loudish teenagers as they had been. Bad habits materialize. Shirley became a chain smoker, and adolescent sulking makes bad box office. Thus her age went up, her appeal went down until, after one wake-up call after another, Shirley Temple tossed in the sponge and announced her retirement. She was just 22. Now what? What happened next defied logic, at least big studio logic. Unlike others of her kind, Shirley didn't fall apart thanks to drugs and arrogance. Instead, she remained what she had always been. For her, the shibboleths of Main Street Middle America were always her bedrock beliefs and guiding lights. What you saw was utterly and completely who she was. And so what she did was what we all do. Get married at 16 and divorced 4 years later, only to find love and happiness for 54 years with San Francisco Bay Area businessman Charles Black, a man who claimed he never saw any of her films. She had 3 children, 1 with John Agar Jr., 2 with Black, and they had the usual problems. She went back to work. Some projects succeeded, some didn't. There was no mystery, no enigma, no hidden secrets waiting to be built in supermarket checkout lines. Instead, there was decency, patriotism, kindness, courtesy, good humor, and most of all, love, tolerance, and acceptance, each an attribute which helped make her the diplomat she became. For her embassy to the Czech Republic and its playwright president, Václav Havel, was no sinecure. She wouldn't have taken the job if it hadn't been. She wouldn't have taken the job if it had been, for she always valued and extolled the importance of hard work and did more than her share. She might so easily have turned out very different. Envoy, I didn't have to think twice about the music for this article. It was On the Good Ship Lollipop, Shirley Temple's signature song, music by Richard A. Whiting, lyrics by Sidney Clare. It was published in 1934, then used in Bright Eyes. Over 500,000 copies of the sheet music were sold on any given night in that year of worry and anxiety. Family gathered around the piano to find uplift in its lively beat and happy lyrics. Thus, she shed her grace on we. Wherever she was going, she wanted us all to go. And I, for one, am glad and grateful I did. Go to any search engine now and remember how this pint-sized ball of purposeful endeavor and never say die determination made you smile. No one ever did it better. About the author, Harvard-educated Dr. Jeffrey Lant is author of over a dozen bestsellers on business and marketing, and Shirley Temple, several ebooks, and over 1,000 online articles on a variety of topics.
Now, before I say anything about you, let's bring these people in. Samuel and Ted, it's time for you gentlemen to join the Worldprofit community. And we wanted to do it now. Well, it was typecasting, wasn't it? I mean, are you not the good ship lollipop? I mean, are you not like a pea in that pod?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. You just read it. You just saw a picture of her. Of course you have an idea.
I'm not a good ship lollipop.
You are looking at it from this perspective. You are. How many people think? How many of you people think that Lisa Cosby is closer to Shirley Temple than, say, anyone else in this room? Anybody agree? I definitely think you are typecast as Shirley Temple, no question about it. Anybody want to agree with me? Yeah! Your fans are coming out of the woodwork, and oh my God, they're all coming. There, see? Now, together, on the good ship, Lisa Cosby, here's a quick trip to your favorite TV. Yeah, it worked. It'll scan.
It's the Lant Lisa show.
God's play. I the peppermint bag. Ooh. We love you, Missy Cosby.
Oh, Dr. Lant.
For all of us. Shall I continue?
I've got to go have my hair done. It's too straight right now.
So. You got to get those 58 ringlets back. Each one of those ringlets is worth $1 million. That kid had $1 million hair. How many times have we all sat here as you go like this? You are one here that I missed. I've seen you time after time fiddle with thy locks.
Oh, yes, I do. It doesn't need to look so straggly. Okay, well.
And the lily appears one. And this is how it turns out. It looks like a bunch of radish leaves. Oh, no, worse, dandelion leaves. You got the pattern for your hair out of your front yard, didn't you? With the dandelion
yes,
leaves.
I did. It was out of...
I know. I can see it. Well, you had 100% of the people in this room thought that you were a knockoff of Shirley Temple. 100%. And you tell me you didn't know them. I'm telling you, it's definitely the case.
I don't know if that's a compliment. Some people may not like Shirley Temple.
I don't know, having a girl in the family with a bunch of dandelion leaves in her hair. It's a little weird. Not since Ophelia was driven to madness by Hamlet. You know the famous saying, of course. The scene where Hamlet, Ophelia's going down the river, her hair decked out. Ooh. Yeah, yes, that's you. Well, take your pick. You can be Shirley Temple or you can be Ophelia and Shakespeare. If you can't be both, that's just the way it is. But before
okay,
you
who
go
would you
down,
like for me to be?
Go with you, I would like you to be a helper to Dr. Lant to bring Scott and Casper and
Samuel,
Awawinde and Ted and Maggie. Folks, you say you want to make money on the internet. Is that true, Scott? Is that true, Scott, that you want to make money on the internet? Now, are you reserving anyone's time here?
I think
Scott,
we are not. Christopher down. I think it's Jeremiah's turn.
All right, well, Jeremiah's going to have to wait a little bit here. You're going to bring these people in or out. Scott, will you follow directions to making money on the internet? And Casper, will you do so? And Samuel and Ted, if you don't answer us now, we're going to kick you out of here. We are only going to deal with people who communicate with us. So we're going to only deal with it now. So Scott is dealing with us, so I'm going to increase Scott's offer. Scott, I want you to click on the green box and watch the video. And I want you to watch it so that I can justify giving you an even better offer. Scott Thompson, click on the green box and watch the video. Casper, you're not responding and you are candidate in 1 minute to be removed. Samuel, you supposedly watch the video. Watch the video with the good! And will everyone please sing along with me? I'm the good cheer.
I have to go practice that.
No matter how you practice it, it will emerge as a Cosbyism. Cosbyisms will defeat art. All right, now, Samuel, are you going to speak to us? And Cass, are you going to speak to us? Folks, sitting up here is going to do you no good whatsoever. Coming in here with us is going to do you some good. Especially if you're into low-budget 1935 movies. So what is your objection to being cast as Shirley Temple?
I don't have an objection about it, I guess.
You snot. Yeah, like I thought, jealousy, the green-eyed monster.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Samuel's on the order form.
I tell you what, I'll give you 50 cents a week so you can take dancing lessons. I tell you what, I'll make it 70. I'll give you 75 cents a week because of inflation. So long as you go and appear in a baby burlesque.
Oh,
I could just see that.
No.
Whoa! We're really tripping the light fantastic today. So what are you too good for these things? Are you going to do your church pew number now on us?
No. My hands are sweating, though.
I don't drink, and I don't smoke. We've been through this Andy thing with you. Calling Sylvan. Oh, I don't know why I say Sylvan. His fan, we've been here before. Samuel, he's on the order form. You don't know whether it was serious, probably not. His fan, you've got to make a decision today. I'm going to give you 1 minute. His fan, you've been here 7 times. It's too good. We're not going to keep it going. Especially now when you get free passes to movies, watching our friend Lisa in the 10 top roles. I understand, though, that the truth was that they wanted to cast you as the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes, but it was. I wasn't the one that kissed you.
We don't know that. Like, we don't know. You know, I'm
too young to have been in the movie.
I think the thing was you failed the dowsing test. When they poured the water on you, you didn't melt.
No.
You just kept pouring buckets of water and you said, "Melt, damn you!" I heard your agent was really enraged that day.
No, I can't melt.
Listen, I can't stand Daniel Fisher as a monkey. No, I think it's logical to assume that you did not melt, although they threw a bucket of hot water over you. I understand it was fairly hot.
Yeah, I'm always in hot water.
That makeup just evaporated.
I'm red. I'm not green.
How do we know that? That's certainly a metaphysical comment. You're green. I'd say you're more purple. I'd say you're more sort of lavender melange.
Because I'm...
Yes, I know, you're palmettos. Those plants have to be uprooted.
Yes.
Okay.
Should I let Jeremiah come up now?
I suppose. Shall I, Captain? Let the old Jeremiah come up. Then you can leave with one after you've done the commission. You have to sing a song from my book. And so the newest one is "There Ain't No Bugs on Me." Would you care to give us a rendition of "There Ain't No Bugs on Me"?
I don't know.
I'll give you the words because I know you have a short minute. Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. There ain't no bugs on me. There might be bugs on some of you, but there ain't no bugs on me.
Oh, I can't talk that.
There ain't no bugs on me.
There ain't no bugs on me.
Would you like to be sprayed with? What be sprayed with? What is it? Stuff to raid.
I sang raid. Thanks, Jeremiah. Don't encourage him.
I thought you'd like to. I know how interested you are in childhood education, early childhood education. I thought you'd like to have the song in your repertoire.
Absolutely, except my kids are too old for that now, but thank you, Dr. Lant.
Excuse me, I'm 68 years old, and I'm thinking, how old are your kids? 114? Hey, boys, it's time for your dental sausage literature. There ain't no bugs on me, ain't no bugs on me. There might be bugs on some of you bugs, but there ain't no bugs on me.
I think that's a Jeremiah song. Jeremiah has to sing.
He is the bug.
Thank you for allowing me to come up with you, Dr. Lant. It was a pleasure.
It was an allowance.
I will be back up in just a little bit. All right. It is time for a senior monitor change. Christopher was the senior monitor, and now it is time for Jeremiah. Jeremiah, we really appreciate everything you do. You put in a lot of time for us here at Worldprofit, and you do a fantastic job. He does do a lot. He's up more than you are now.
That's because I was sick for 4 days.
Well,
now
that's
that I'm
true.
getting my strength back, I'll give him the flu.
That's because I just gave you a good dose of lollipop. So,
good dose of
thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks, Jeremiah. I have shift, and I'll see y'all then. Maybe you sleep this afternoon. Good night.
Good night, Gracie.